Hi, my name's Sarah Hayes, and I'm here again to talk to you guys about some recommendations and suggestions I have about studying abroad and about traveling abroad. So I did go to Florence, Italy, but a lot of these suggestions can apply to students going to pretty much any country. First, I'm going to talk about some things I suggest you do before you even leave. One big thing is research your host country and city. You've probably heard this before, but it's really important because it's going to prepare you and kind of just transition you better into living there, just kind of knowing what you're getting into. So looking up things like how people dress, eat, live, just things like that, it's going to be really helpful. Also, another thing you guys can research and learn is if the primary language is not English, just know some key phrases and words that can help you just get around in the city, and it's really respectful to kind of know please, thank you, yes, no, things like that in the country's language. As for travel, before you leave, it could be helpful to kind of write down, if you are planning on traveling, write down maybe a top 3 places that you really want to see and really want to go to, and kind of just make sure you hit all those, because you don't want to come home and wish that you went to one place or another, things like that. Even planning maybe 1 or 2 trips ahead of time can take a lot of stress off, instead of planning them all right when you get there. Kind of looking into things like how much airfare is, or taking buses, things like that. All this stuff would be helpful to kind of look before you get there, but also do not plan every single trip before you get there, because things come up, you hear things, stuff like that you kind of want to do when you get there. For packing, so you've also probably heard this before, but pack as little as possible. The less is better. You don't want to be lugging 2 suitcases all around Europe. That's just no fun. So before you do go to study abroad, just go into study abroad with an open mind. Be aware that you will be put out of your comfort zone, but that's totally okay. You're going to learn so much about yourself. Also, just know that culture shock is a real thing, but there's things to deal with it. That's why researching your country and city is really important, because you kind of know what you're getting into. You're aware of the changes, things like that. You really only have a couple months there, and before it may seem like a lot. You don't want to focus on things that are happening at home. Just kind of my advice is to be in the moment. Do things just as you go, and when you get back, you're already going to want to be thinking about going back to your country or things like that. So just kind of, don't look at pictures from home, things like that. You just want to focus on being there and enjoying yourself. When you're traveling, also a big thing when you're traveling, I'll say my biggest advice is that everything isn't going to go perfectly as planned. Yes, you may miss a flight or get pickpocketed, worst case scenario, but don't let any of this stuff ruin your trip, because you really have an opportunity of a lifetime. So just really live in the moment and take advantage of every opportunity you can, do everything, and just have the best time of your life. Thanks again for listening.